Hello, class of 2025. It is with great pride that I offer my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. I want you to take a moment to look around. Look around at the family and friends who fueled your journey to this august institution with their love and encouragement. These are the people who've been your support squad, cheering you on through the hard times and rooting for you each step of the way. Please join me in thanking them on behalf of our community. I also want you to look at the people who are seated behind me, your professors and mentors, dedicated staff who've advised and guided you along the way, the people who believed in you from day one and who opened your eyes to new ways of thinking. These people have been your steadfast champions. Let's also show them some appreciation. And of course, look at your fellow graduates, your companions on this wild ride, full of twists and turns, late nights at the Pappas and Feynman libraries, morning coffee at Pavement. I want you to give a nod to the peers who advocated for you through their roles in student government, your peers who led the affinity groups that helped you feel a sense of community and belonging, your peers who helped you out when you were not feeling well by sharing their notes when you missed class, or by letting you cry on their shoulder, and your peers who laughed with you when you were in your most joyous moments. All of you reached this point together, so please give each other a round of applause. Class of 2025, I ask that you take it all in. Imprint this moment, this important milestone on your memory, because you deserve this day. You deserve to be celebrated, because you put in the work. You kept going when things got rough. You never gave up on yourself or each other. And because you persevered, you have accomplished something tremendous. As we, your faculty, sang to you at the 3L dinner just a few days ago, you're just like us, a law graduate. Class of 2025, each and every one of you has earned a degree that matters deeply in our society. And at a moment in our history when the stakes feel incredibly high, I know I speak for all the faculty and staff at BU Law when I say we couldn't be prouder of you. Your induction into the professional legal community gives us faith. It gives us hope. There are times in our nation's history when an understanding of the rule of law, a commitment to its safekeeping, feels more urgent and pressing. And we are living in one of those times. In fact, we've been living through attacks on free speech, the free press, education, and an inclusive nation, and more for years now. In such times, we can call on the wisdom of those who came before us. People like BU Law alumna, Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. After 6 years of service in the Texas Senate, she was elected president of the Texas Senate, becoming the first Black woman in the United States to oversee a legislative body. That same year, in 1972, she became the first Black woman from the Deep South to be elected as a representative for U.S. Congress, and one of the first 2 Black people, along with Congressman Andrew Young, to be elected to Congress from a former Confederate state since Reconstruction. A few years after the Watergate scandal, Congresswoman Jordan gave a commencement address to graduates at the University of Cincinnati. Quote, "It is particularly important in these times that we hear your voices," end quote, she told them. She beseeched them to be active in pursuing the common good, proclaiming, quote, "Your training at this university will be of no avail if you have no compassion, no sense of justice, no willingness to look beyond yourselves," end quote. She declared, quote, "It is time you begin to make some music. It is time you begin to dream again. I, for one, will be listening for that better America," end quote. Now, Congresswoman Jordan was speaking from experience. Just 2 years earlier, and only her second year as a US representative, she made some music herself, pushing our nation to continue to reach for its dreams. She made what remains to this day one of the most impassioned and lauded speeches about why our Constitution is important, about why the rule of law must be safeguarded, and about why she would not allow her faith, the nation's faith in the Constitution, to be eroded. It was 1974, and the Congresswoman was speaking in front of the House Judiciary Committee, which was considering the question of then-President Richard Nixon's impeachment. She told the committee and millions of Americans watching on primetime television, quote, "My faith in the Constitution is whole. It is complete. It is total. And I'm not going to sit here and be an idle spectator to the diminution, the subversion, the destruction of the Constitution," end quote. As you can see, her BU law education prepared her very well. Now, Congresswoman Jordan was no Pollyanna. She knew well that as a nation, we have not always lived up to our ideals. In fact, she began her remarks by acknowledging how the Constitution itself had betrayed its core ideals. She powerfully proclaimed, quote, "We the people." It's a very eloquent beginning, but when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that "we the people," end quote. People who looked like Congresswoman Jordan or me were not acknowledged in the Constitution. Now, you may be wondering, how could someone with that understanding of history profess total and complete faith in the Constitution? How could Congresswoman Jordan, a Black woman who grew up in the Jim Crow South, carry both the knowledge of our imperfect union and an undying devotion to the document that created it? Now, if I might be so bold as to venture a guess, it was because Congresswoman Jordan understood that faith in the Constitution is faith not in a document or a group of men or a group of any people, but in an ideal. And it is to that ideal, the ideal of a nation built to serve the people, in which she professed her allegiance. Our law should serve and protect the freedom and dignity of every individual, and no matter how far off on the horizon or how far out of reach that aspiration seems, you should never give up on trying to achieve this ideal. It is only through the integrity and the will of people like you, soon-to-be lawyers, who will be charged with the duty of upholding our laws without fear or favor, that we can achieve this ideal. Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, a member of the class of 1959, who once stood in your shoes, understood this well. She understood that it's through our efforts to uphold the rule of law and to make our laws and legal systems better that we move closer to living our shared ideals. As she so forcefully asserted about the impeachment of President Nixon before the House Judiciary Committee, quote, "Through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in We the People," end quote. Now, few people knew Barbara Jordan before her remarks on July 24th, 1974. But afterward, her name was on the lips of people from California to South Carolina and everywhere in between. She had them all listening for that better America. It is time, class of 2025, for you to begin to make some music, for you to dream again, to make us listen for a better America. One day soon, as you're being sworn into the bar, you will be asked to take an oath. And in that oath, you will swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, as well as the Constitution of your bar state. You will be asked to faithfully discharge your legal duties and to conduct yourself with integrity and civility. And when you speak these words, you will do so knowing the many ways that our country, that our various states have fallen short of our most cherished ideals. And yet you will still proclaim those words. And you will do so, as so many of us did on this stage, because you know and appreciate that as lawyers, your stewardship of the law is what keeps our constitutional democracy strong. Because you know that we must honor and safeguard the rule of law in order to bridge the chasm between the reality of our imperfect union and our highest aspirations for it. No matter what status or title might be dangled in front of you, no matter how big or small the consequences, please make a point of always upholding your oath. I promise no reward will be more valuable than knowing, come what may, you never wavered in that sworn duty. And should you ever feel your resolve faltering, I encourage you to take inspiration from the legacy of Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. As a BU Law alum, her legacy, the legacies of every alum who has come before you, is also your legacy, just as your legacy will belong to generations of BU Law graduates who come after you.